Hey you guys, Mimsy here. I'm going to show you real quick how to replace the glass on an aluminum window with mull bars or mullions. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to give you a close-up of what this window looks like so you can tell if your window is like mine. So this is the outside of the window, and you see how it's got raised, like this is you can see the dimension on that. This is raised up, and this is, I think, called the glazing, that piece. And then the other side has just got the flat bars, and then the inside there is got the lock and everything. You can tell if your window is similar to this aluminum window. I bought these windows, 4 of them just like this, for I think $35 on Craigslist or something. Anyway, this window will clean up really nicely, and I'm going to put these 4 windows in the front of my house, and it'll completely change the look of my house. Okay, so let's get started with taking off these aluminum pieces that hold the glass in. This window is individual panes of glass. There are some windows where this is just all one piece, and then there's something like this, just like these mull bars that just sit on top of the glass. So if that's the case, then this way won't work. I did do a video previously on how to replace a piece of glass in a wood window, which is very similar actually, but these pieces are actually wood. So I pulled this one off already, and I have all the pieces for this one right here. So grab your tool. I'm using a paint scraper spatula thing. I don't know what this is actually. I can't remember. Anyway, so you're going to want to get that in underneath this glazing piece, and the first one is going to be the hardest one to take out, same as with the wood frame. You may end up bending this a bit, so just be very patient and do it slowly. But if you get your tool up underneath all the way to the back, get it in there all the way, you can pop this out without bending it too much. The first one will bend a bit, and then the rest of them you can get out perfectly without bending them at all. You get up here in the corner, you can pull out, and I just bent that, but you can pull out the piece that fits in right behind here, and then there's a piece that the back side has a piece that goes around the glass, and then this piece fits right up underneath here. Okay, so there we go. Now we can just, I got this loose from under here, and now I can just kind of slide that down. Oh, I just broke that. I'm trying to do this one-handed so that you can still see what it is I'm doing. Don't do like I did and stick the corner of this through the front of this. I changed my shirt because the mosquitoes are bad back here. Okay, now I got it open at the bottom. All right, now I got the whole front part out. Now that you got that front piece away from there, it can kind of wrap around the front, and we can get, okay. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll bring the camera in. Okay. Okay. Now we got the first piece out. Now you can kind of see the way that this is shaped. So it was like this, and this part has a flat. Okay, so I got the first one out, and I messed it up a little bit. I broke it with the corner of my tool, but it's okay. I think once I get it put back in here, I can make sure I put some silicone on there and it should be all right, because the around the window, so I did this one previously, around the window you put silicone here, adhesive, and that's what holds the glass in, is the silicone. These other three will come out easily. You have to get behind it all the way to pop it out. If you get right up against the glass all the way down, you can just pop out the rest of these easily without any damage. To the aluminum. And actually, I should have taken this side one out before taking that one out, because this one is on top of that, so don't do that. Oop. This piece of glass is kind of in my way. And since it's loose and not stuck with silicone real well, I'll take it out. I have a flower pot down here I'm putting everything in. So get all the way back there, and you'll hear it pop free from the glass. See, this piece right here is still stuck in behind the glass, or next between the glass and the, see that little lip right there sticks in behind the glass. And that's the part that you have to pop free. And there you have your aluminum glazing. Now this one will come right out. And same with this one. You get all the way up in there and pop it free. Hear that? It's coming out of the... See how easy that was? Then the next step is to take the glass out. So you definitely want to get a pair of leather gloves for this part. Found that the easiest way to do this is, I'll turn the window around, but get your tool in behind the other side, and you can just shimmy it back in there and it comes right out. I'll show you. So I'm just going to get your tool back in there. Probably shouldn't do that because it'll smash on the ground, but that's the easy way to get the glass out, is just get up behind. There's silicone in here holding this, gluing it, the window or the glass to the metal frame here. So, okay, there we go. I started to, and instead of shattering it into a million pieces, I'm just gonna carefully, got my flower pot I'm putting all the glass into. So I grabbed a razor, break the seal between the silicone and the glass. And you guys should probably wear gloves for this. So I decided to go ahead and put this on the ground to get these last few pieces out so that I could contain the little tiny pieces of glass. It'll drop here on the ground and then I can just sweep all this up. And I've got a glove now, so make sure that you're wearing goggles and a glove. So now I can tap this out. So the idea is for it to come out as much as possible in one piece and avoid making a big mess. But it's inevitable, some little pieces are going to stick to that silicone, but for the most part we did really well. So we're just going to take out, this is very important to wear goggles for this part. I did it. I managed to get all the glass out of the panes without any injuries. So you see how nice and smooth that is? That's the idea. We want to get all the glass unstuck from the silicone or silicone caulking that you put in there. That little brush right there to clean out, just to sweep that off and get ready for the new glass. So now I've just got to clean up, wash my hands, and install the new glass. The next step after you get all the glass cleaned out of your frame is to go ahead and run a bead of silicone caulk in there. You want to use a really good waterproof silicone caulk. This type here is about $7-8. So it's a good quality weatherproof silicone caulk. Obviously you need to have your glass cut, so go to a local glass company and get your window glass cut to the proper size. Mine was 11 by 14 and I've got this one in already. So let's run a bead of caulk all the way around here. You want to run it close to the corner, not right at the edge, close to the corner, because you don't really want it to squeeze out onto your glass. It's going to squeeze out some, so if you put it in the corner it'll squeeze just right to the edge, and then you don't have to do any cleaning up because silicone caulking is really not fun to clean up. So just run a bead into the corner, and I like to keep a towel on me because I had a piece there that was dried. Okay, so now you're going to grab your piece of glass and just set it in there. And push it in and just make sure you've got good contact with the silicone all the way around. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the glazing pieces back on this bottom one since it's set. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to put the glazing pieces back on once your piece of glass is all firmly set. So here's my glazing pieces. I've got this one already put back together, so I'll bring in a little bit closer so you can see this a little bit better. So we're going to start with putting the top and the bottom back in first, because that's the way they were in originally. Remember, we had to take the sides out and then the bottom and the top because the sides overlapped over the top and the bottom, so we're going to put them back in that same order. The piece that you took out first, which is always the one that gets the most damaged, it's the hardest to put back in. Let's start with the bottom piece. So remember, there's that little lip right here. That's the piece that fits between the glass and the bottom frame. So I found that the best way to do it is to tuck this front end in first, like so, and then push back like that. Push it back against the glass. Now that one popped out here. So this one might actually be the top. Let's try that and see if it'll go in easier. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, there we go. That one's in. Let's try this other short guy on the bottom. See how that one's like really crimped together? Kind of want to make sure that they're kind of the same distance apart. Okay. Okay. Let's get that all the way down in there and then push it back toward the glass. And then somehow that lip that goes between there just pops in and it holds it here. Okay, now push this front edge toward the glass and then pushes that little lip in between the glass. Okay? It's that simple. This last one over here was the hardest one, so let's see if this one, the last one, cooperates. This one, not quite up there, but this will hold it in place, I hope. Okay, now push this front edge towards the glass. pop out, but this has got a little bit of a bend here. When I took it out, it kind of bent that. There we go. So I just pushed that bend back in there, and it's in. That's it, you guys. It's that simple. Now I'm gonna go ahead and paint my frames to freshen these up like I did on the rest of my house. Paint these with a nice oil-based Rust-Oleum paint, and then I can install these windows. Check out the other video that I have on replacing glass in a wood door. I took out, it's basically the same thing, but this piece is wood. Check that out next.